Number 5 in the Outrider Cup. And map versus Old Allies matchup. Map for the European player Miguel and Old Allies for Matthew Harrison-Trainor, who's playing for the USA. So I see both players online. That's why I already started the stream. And it can only be a matter of seconds when the game is up. And we can jump right in from the start. This matchup should favor map. At least that's what most people say. And I just tell everybody that I'm ready. So yeah, map has good space. Old Allies has good space too, but map has a lot of tricks like overwhelmed and lateral damage. There are cancelers for that. There are things you can play around stuff. You can have a punch it. You can have the rebel flights, the suit, to cancel the leadership when he says no more than one destiny be drawn here. So we will see. The game is up here, and as soon as MHT joins, we are in. Also curious to see what kind of All Allies MHT is playing. Some played the Admiral's Order lately with Combined Fleet Attack and pulling vehicles. But, of course, General Leia would cancel the Admiral's Order, so you either don't play her or you wait until you pulled your vehicles and then you play her. And also curious to see who will be the resistant agent. If he picks Leia, because probably he will have a ray in space or one ray in space. So, but we will find out. So please let me know if there are any lags, if the sound is okay, and so on. Wonder what Miguel will do in the first turns, if he decides to pull the Emperor turn 1, or if he decides to go down with Kylo and the shuttle turn 1 to get a pull. I mean, you can beam your Kylo around with Dolphin and using 3/4. So General Leia is the resistant agent. I would pick the same, I think, because she's pullable, you can wait until you want to deploy her, then even attack and retrieve. Even if he was flipped, he will flip back and you will be able to retrieve. If he's flipped, you can't retrieve until BB-8 is on table, then you can also retrieve, although map is flipped. Pretty usual stuff here. So the pulling effect for map, that's the pulling effect. Where you can make use spell pulls, you make full use of it because it's got errated, but there are all episode 7 or 8, I don't know, battlegrounds where you can use these pulls. The pulling effect for the battleground system and the effect which add to attrition if Emperor is on table. It's also very crucial here. Oh, quite a surprise. I play them in my Old Allies. The Visigoda Grande Army, which I play with Fumbus. He also plays it, so that's a little bit telling that he doesn't play this side. He could convert it, but yeah, I mean, still 3 Jakku sides on table because he will have the 2/2. But this one normally you sometimes also include in your Old Allies build. Makes it a little bit easier to flip. If anybody's watching, can you just tell me if the sound is good, if I have any lags or something like that, or if it's fine? So Miguel uses a shield to watch out if maybe Kylo is in there to pull with a shuttle. However, I don't ever like that. Because you given Matthew Harrison-Trainor a full verify, almost 33 cards in the reserve deck. I also don't know, honestly, if I would have gone there and not to the Falcon side, because he can't attack with the Falcon, because he is a starship at the moment. He has to flip it in the move phase. That's a good one. Especially against map, against all allies, with the danger of punch it. I mean, he can spin for one, yeah, but also he can't reduce your destiny draws if all allies is flipped. But going there is maybe also a little bit safer. You could have a keep your eyes open. You could come down with General Calrissian, attack, make a leadership. You don't want to use. You waste your sand effect turn 1, and draw two destiny against Kylo, which would be a great start, since he doesn't have. Since he didn't had any weapon, so he can't. You don't even need the keep your eyes open, because Kylo has no weapon at the moment. Oh yeah, already someone points out in the chat that I talked shit with a weapon, and he probably saw that in the verify with his funfair, and decided not to go the full risk way. It's not really full risky, but at least he could have threatened a drain of 2 if he flies up. Always suspense if, oh yeah, if it's in reserve, you're 2-0, and if Leia is in reserve, not Leia, Array, you can pull. So usually Old Alice goes down with General Calrissian on the ship, pulls Rey, moves over, shuttles up. Get a use ball pull too while pulling her. There is no danger of any barrier or something like that. That's a good one too. Pull maybe the Corellian Covert, and always have an option to limit your opponent to only draw 1 destiny if you have the leadership. You probably want to grab the leadership, not the it's a hit, because you will get Jakku probably. If you don't get Jakku, you will have a problem with Dark. So no, it's a hit. You can only cancel something like Nebrun Slate, which could be also very tricky in this matchup. We will find out. Nothing special happened at the moment. Next turn, probably Miguel wants to pull his Emperor. Don't think he wants to attack at the moment with his ship, unless he has an Overwhelmed and is gambling a little bit. And lateral damage for sure. The funny thing is, MHT can cancel lateral damage by landing his Falcon, because then it becomes, if you flip it, becomes a vehicle. Mr. Baroni's already trolling me again. I am young. I just turned 36 at the first Christmas Eve. And nobody in the community contacted me and said, happy birthday. Also, I shaved today, trimmed today, so that contributes to the how do you call it? To my youth look? Don't know how you say it in English. So he pulls the saber. As you can see it, I don't have to say everything you can see anyway. And there's the Emperor. So both players got the activation. Matthew still has the 2-2, either in hand or in the reserve deck. If he has it in hand, I wouldn't have deployed it also to force choke Dark a little bit to make this turn 2 less threatening. Interesting that at the moment all games were won by Dark Side in the Outrider Cup. So 3 games for the Europeans, 1 game for the US at the moment, but every Dark Side won. I hope that's the same in this game. There is the Covert. I think probably the Covert and the Layers Resistance Transport are the only 3 ships Matthew Harrison-Trainor is playing. But maybe there is a surprise in there too. Losing from the reserve deck. Okay. When he flips next turn, if he flips, he could stack the reacting canceller. There is a command fleet attack. Yeah, interesting. This a little bit maybe similar to the build Charlie Anderson was playing at the, I think, MPC. Was it the MPC? But sooner or later, it will get cancelled, the Admiral's order, because he chooses a General Leia as her resistant agent. Probably want to secure the system here. Makes it harder to overwhelm it. with interrupt. A little bit more. You don't want to attack in so much stuff, maybe. We will see. And if he can hold it, he definitely has a chance. He also can cancel it with Is a hit, then the force drains. Takes Poe into hand. Tarkin stays at 12 cards in hand. Didn't use the Emperor's game text to draw one of the force pile. There is always the danger of a monarch. That's a crucial turn. Turn 3. Probably go to Jakku, but probably not attacking because of Punch It, but he could, as I said, plug the effect here, but still there could be a spin combo to still crack the immunity of the finalizer. Leia is the agent, General Leia. So if he is Dolphin, I probably would deploy him here to flip, to stack that, to be able to cancel the react. However, maybe he even flies over to activate to satisfy battle plan. Still dangerous play without his admiral, who makes it immune to attrition less than 8, because we know he has Poe in hand. If he has the resistant transport in hand, he can go down to the other system, and yeah, but now he has enough forfeit here to compensate for that. As I said, I probably would have deployed it here and then shuttle over maybe. Oh, maybe we see an overwhelmed. This would be so nice. Come on. Give me the overwhelmed. No cancel, please. Bam! Doesn't matter, Paul. Everything is used. And he flips. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Miguel, my bell. Love that Beatles song. That brings a smile to my face too. That beautiful overwhelmed. Do I have it at my poster, this overwhelmed? I have to create a new poster. At the wall, at the background, I created a poster with Star Wars cards. I make a new Outrider one with all the cards which decided the games, I think. Frame it. So what will he do? Maybe pull a vehicle, put pawn it, go right into Kylo to hopefully crack his immunity. Maybe together with Leia after he pulled. No, I don't think so. Yeah, sand card is harder. He would only lose his shuttle. I don't know if he pulled it. It would be interesting to see which card he pulled. If he pulled Overwhelmed, if he pulled Sense. Sense doesn't cancel tracking us. I think it's immune to Sense, would have cancelled Overwhelmed. If he pulled the Sand effect, have to ask Miguel after that, or let him send me the replay. So Justin, does he play Menace Fates? You know the builds better of your player than I do. I don't know the build of Matthew Harrison-Trainor, but does he play? Does he play it? He got a new spell pull turn 1. I don't think he wasted it on it because he came down with a shuttle turn 1. I don't know exactly if he put it down before he pulled Kylo, but I don't think so because this would have increased the chance that he stacked Kylo on it. I think he should shuttle Dolphin down to Kylo to go after Leia if he puts her down. Does anyone in the chat agree or wants to Dolphin? Yeah, just synthesize said it. His space looks pretty safe. If he can't occupy 3 battlegrounds, he will even have a drain of 3 here. Because... I don't think he plays Fumbus. That's a special Dylan build. So he probably want to cancel the drain. Later he will replace her and walk out to a battleground. 4 roses and she's an agent. That's interesting too. And it's a good destiny. Justin Desire says, because if you can't read it, if you watch it later on YouTube, that he uses not Leia as her resistant agent, but Rose, and plays 4 of her. And yeah, what can you can't go wrong with the Destiny 5. Also, Rose can pull a lot of characters. She can pull Poe with this effect. She can pull Chewie. She can pull the one who adds to the drain if 10 or more cards in your lost pile, however he's called. The Admiral, which adds a destiny with the leader. A lot of good ability 2 stuff. Yeah, I think it's not bad to drain, even though you know will be cancelled. He only has 1 card in the lost pile. He will lose now again. I think he can only cancel sides. But yeah. This location has a tricky game text too. Sometimes players say, oh, I buried the ray, I go down hard on her with a spy and throw every lightsaber I have on her. But here you can't target Rey with your weapons. And she's immune to attrition less than 6 on Jakku. Bayment Kim is the name of the guy who adds to the drain if 10 or more cards in your lost pile. Good to win a drain race. Thanks. Ryder, I think, is your Gamp name. Berm, you're Ryder, right? And yeah, he's good for versus Scum too, because he says at related locations you can't modify deploy costs, which negates the Scum and Villainy game text. And yeah, sometimes good to prevent this reacting Greedo for 1 force. Jared asked, he was surprised that I didn't use it because I hope to lose nothing. That's why. Because I was able to subtract 3. Yeah, 3 force more would have been nice. But then I wouldn't have been left with more than 6 ability, I think. And you could have just get Jizo again with your side and go down, and I wouldn't have drawn a destiny. That's why I didn't use it. But I made other much more crucial misplays in our game. But we have a game here to watch, and the second ship is coming down, and we'll probably fly over here with a steadfast to make it a 2-2 to also drain, have a big drain there, and keep on pressuring a Harrison-Trainor, who probably only has Leia's resistant agent and maybe drew into his Corellian Covert again. I haven't tracked his ship, if he drew it already. So yeah, it doesn't look very good for light side, so to say. And yeah, I hope that it's 5-0 for Dark and 4-1 for Team Europe after that game. The only downside is if he draws now a lot of cards, he's not left with much cards in his reserve deck to operate with. But I would still take this position at every time if it was a chess match and say, yeah, I'm gonna take Dark. Peroni says I have an old voice. Man. Yeah. Good rider. That I think was a little mistake from Miguel. Maybe better to have another forfeit guy on here and the shuttle with the finalizer to make this also a drain of 3, because then only if Steadfast is alone, she would have made this to a 2-2 side and then also add 1 with Admiral Girardot. Is it pronounced Girardot? Is he French? Not a drain of 3. Now it's a drain of 2, yes. We have Bastian Winkelhaus in the house too. That's how we German would pronounce his name. Not Bastian, but Bastian Winkelhaus. True, he could also have let the shuttle inside as forfeit fodder, and then he would have had the better. So he saved 3-4s. I'm pretty sure he has at least a clash. It's still hard to crack his immunity. With Ray, it would become a little bit easier to add 1 to the Destiny, because he won't draw more than 1 with this effect here. And he will plug it. Since it's no differential play, he can, if he doesn't fight, he can only run away with Kylo to play safe. He outdrains him by a lot. But we will see. He still has 2-4s. He could have a clash. There is Ray. A 4 would be enough to crack the immunity. But if he attacks and then he clashes Ray, he could also win the battle, make him lose 2-4s. Either way, I think he will attack, because he have to make a Hail Mary play. He has to go full risk to at least make this game a little bit more challenging for Miguel. So Poe is not participating in the battle. Now we see. He has a little bit better defense value 4. Because of himself. He's adding to the defense value. All allies is not flipped, so 1 is enough to hit here. Kylo's power 8 at the moment, because 2 cards are stacked here. Every card adds 1 to the power. So let's see if he has a clash. If he has a clash, maybe, probably Ray. Because if he cracks... No, he won't crack the immunity of that one. There is a sniper. Maybe? No. Nothing will be played. It's Miguel's time, which is running, so what will he do? Battle destinies are being drawn, so no exclusion. He probably will lose the battle then here, and then has to lose some. Oh, it's only a 1. That's good. But still, Lights had won the battle. However, Lightsat doesn't have to forfeit any other guy because Array is immune to less than... Oh, he has because of the attrition bonus of the Emperor. True. So he lost the fight, losing 2 because of the game text of Kylo. If he wins a fight, opponent has to lose 2. If he loses a fight, he has to lose 2. And 2 additional to the overpowering. And cracks the immunity at least of the dash. But if he forfeits the dash, he also forfeits the Poe who is on it. So he probably has to lose Rey here. Although she would have been immune to less than 6. And now he can't run away, Matthew Harrison-Trainor. He will eat a drain of 5. 3 here, 2 here, which could have been a 6 if this ship would have been inside. Poe is not in space, so this danger is also not on the table at space for him. Or in the books for him. I don't know how you would say it. So he probably will go for a beat down on this ship. And Matthew Harrison-Trainor will be left with nothing. And lose 2 to the lost battle. He activates everything because probably he will plague sand anyway. But Miguel has only 8 cards in hand, so interesting to see what he has. I haven't paid attention if he already got his Phasma turn 3, I think, where he came down with it. Or which trooper he pulled. Phasma would give him another use-ball pull. So he lost the Carillion Cuvette from the reserve deck. I don't see any chance for Lightsat here. This game was over with the overwhelmed 10-3. Which is good, since I'm part of Team Europe and Miguel is playing for Europe. If he has a Destiny adder, I probably... So I would have activated not everything to maybe even draw... If he has another trooper, I wouldn't have activated everything and I would have limited him with leadership, which he could have stacked on his effect. However, it probably doesn't matter. If Matthew Harrison-Trainor doesn't have Hoochix here, this should be GG. He also has to lose a force to draw a Destiny, Matthew. So he can cancel with his effect. Yeah, which he does. So he chose to take his Aura Sing into hand from the Sand effect. If you didn't see the characters here, it was Dr. E and the Dr. E combo card and Aura Sin. He probably will grab that. Yeah, he grabbed the leadership. And a sniper, which will become attrition of 4. So he won't crack the immunity here, but it doesn't matter with also only a 2. And Matthew Harrison-Trainor calls it GG. So it's 5-0 for Dark and 4-1 for Team Europe. Yeah, if he would have had they are tracking us, the game would have been totally different. But with losing his Falcon out of play, with his Carillion Cuvert, which he pulled with Radis going used, with all his characters going used, yeah. And the Sand effect, like Matthew Harrison-Trainor says it's very hard to make any damage against it. And you, even if you plug it, you only draw 1/2, yeah? But you have the attrition bonus of your Emperor and the effect. So, very good matchup for Dark here against Old Allies. And well played by Miguel. And I'm out. See you guys next time.